Hi, I'm Brandon Grant, Marketing Director here at QuoteWerks, and welcome to the QuoteWerks Product Overview Tour. In this video, you will get familiar with the QuoteWerks interface, learn how to move through the sales quoting process, and learn about some advanced features along the way. For over 25 years, businesses in every industry have been using QuoteWerks to effectively and accurately prepare, manage, and deliver sales quotes and proposals to their customers. With QuoteWerks, you will be able to create quotes and proposals in minutes and streamline your sales process by integrating with your contact managers, PSA systems, and accounting solutions. QuoteWerks is the leading solution with over 85,000 users in 101 countries. So let's begin our tour. Logging into QuoteWerks will display the Quote Workbook. Quote Workbook is made up of these 6 tabs up at the top of any document in QuoteWerks. The Document Items tab is where you'll spend most of your time in QuoteWerks. This will display a list of the products and services that have been selected and added to your document. This tab contains multiple columns that are customizable. These include item description, cost, price, manufacturer, manufacturer part number, and many more. These columns can also be renamed and reorganized under the View, Customize Columns menu option. Here you can select which columns are available to be used in your organization or for specific users. The next tab is the Sold to Ship to tab. The Sold to Ship to tab contains the customer contact information. If you're integrated with one of the leading CRM or PSA systems that QuoteWerks integrates with, you'll be able to search and pull contact information directly from your contact database into QuoteWerks. The Sale Info tab is where you'll define specific information regarding the quote, such as the document date, expiration date, and also set who has ownership of that document on the sales rep field. We have additional fields available such as the tax rate and the ability to set contract dates on the document as well. The Notes tab has 5 different notes fields available. On the left-hand side, we have our introduction and closing notes. These are typically notes that you would want the customer to see, so they're going to be customer facing. You do have the option to set default notes, as I have here, by clicking on the defaults option and typing up your introduction or closing notes to be used on your documents moving forward. These can always be customized. The purchasing and internal notes are typically internal note fields. These will not be automatically displayed to your customer, and the dynamic notes field is extremely useful and helps facilitate collaboration between sales reps as they can post notes and even put a date, time, and username stamp to see who posted that note and what changes have been made to this specific document. The Custom tab includes additional custom fields that can be added to your document. QuoteWerks offers custom text, date, and number fields. These fields can be customized to store a variety of additional information. To customize any of these fields, simply hold Control on your keyboard and double-click on one of the custom names labels. This will bring up the Change Label Name window, and you can change the name here. The Links tab allows you to attach additional documentation to your quote or proposal. So if you have a statement of work, Visio or CAD drawing, Excel spreadsheet, PowerPoint presentation, PDF documents, any type of documentation that you'd like to include with the current quote or proposal, you can attach it here. To add a file, simply drag and drop it or click on the Add File link button. You can also load existing templates, so if you do need to create a statement of work, you have the ability to select from an existing template in your QuoteWerks installation. The final tab will be the QuoteValet tab. This will only be available if you have an active QuoteValet subscription. This will display all the activity of the customer when they have viewed the document, posted comments, accepted it, and even made payment. We'll get into more detail on this in just a few minutes. At the top of QuoteWerks, you'll see we have a list of various toolbar icons. These toolbar icons are shortcuts to help you navigate around the software quicker. The New button will let you create a brand new document in QuoteWerks. You can also click on the drop-down arrow next to it to load a new quote, order, or invoice, or load an existing template so you don't have to start from scratch. The Open icon will open up the search window for you. This will allow you to search for any document that has been already created in QuoteWerks. You have a variety of fields to select and use as a filter, such as document name, document number, status, sales rep, expiration date, and many more. The Save icon will save your document. This will also trigger the integration with your CRM or PSA system if you have it integrated. The Revision icon is how we handle revisions in QuoteWerks. This is where it will make an exact copy of this existing document and then add a -01 to the end of the document number so that you know that it's a new revision of that current document. You can view all revisions of any document by clicking on View Document Revisions. The Deliver icon is where we will get ready to send out our document to our customer. This is where we will select the output and deliver the document to the customer. We'll go into more detail here in just a moment. The Dashboard icon will open up a QuoteWerks dashboard for sales reps. This will display important sales related information in real time, such as how many quotes have been created this month, last month, or 2 months ago, links to recent documents that the sales rep has worked on, and a list of any expiring documents within the next 7 days. There's also an expanded dashboard in the Opportunities window, which will display specific information for the sales rep based on their security settings, such as their forecast for the selected date range, how they've performed in a specific quarter, and the top 5 products won in a specific date range, top 5 opportunities lost, and top 5 open documents in that date range as well. The QuoteValet dashboard is going to be the hub for all of the QuoteValet documents. This will show in real time all the quotes that are currently being interacted with your current users. We'll go into more detail here in just a few minutes. The Products icon will show you a list of the product sources available in your QuoteWerks installation. This is where you'll be able to search and select items to add to your document. Bundles are groups or kits in QuoteWerks, so if you sell items together in a package, you can create them and add them to QuoteWerks as a bundle. The configurator will walk you through in a step-by-step process of building a bundle. So if you have multiple items with options and accessories, configurators are a great way to simplify and streamline that process. Your best, latest, and compare options will let you refresh pricing on any existing documents. Best will source it from the best cost vendor. Latest will update it with the latest costs from that selected vendor on the document already. And compare will let you compare across the vendors you have set up in QuoteWerks. Contacts will bring a look up QuoteWerks contact window open on any tab that you're in. So it's a nice little shortcut for selecting a contact to add to this document. And then the purchasing icon will start the purchasing window and allow you to place orders from QuoteWerks or create purchase orders in your accounting system. If you're using QuickBooks, you'll have access to export any document to QuickBooks. If you're using Sage 50 instead, you'll have a Sage 50 option in here instead. So now that we're familiar with the QuoteWerks interface, let's go ahead and walk through the process and how to use the QuoteWerks workflow to generate a new quote or proposal for your customer. We'll first start with a blank document, so we're going to click on our New button here. This will open up a new blank quote for us. If you are creating quotes that are similar in nature or follow a basic format, QuoteWerks does support the ability to create quotes from templates. This is where you can save quite a bit of time by loading an existing template so your sales reps are not having to start from scratch. Let's go ahead and click on the Sold to Ship to tab. And to pull a contact from an integrated CRM or PSA system or from your QuoteWerks contact database, click on the magnifying glass. This will open up the Lookup QuoteWerks contact window, and we can do a search based on the company name. So we'll type in Aspire, hit enter on our keyboard. Once we have our contact found, we can highlight them to select them, and then we can add them to the Sold to, Ship to, Bill to, or All. All will populate all 3 fields. The Sold to fields are very important as this is going to be the primary contact information on the document, so you always want to make sure you fill that out. If you're integrated with a CRM or PSA system, it's also going to be very important as this is who we will create the opportunity for in that system. Now that we have our contact information on our document, let's go ahead and go back to the Document Items tab. we're going to start building out our quote that we're going to send to our customer. In QuoteWerks, you have the ability to organize the document into different sections using what we call section headers. This is an optional setting, but if you right-click on the Document Items tab, you have the ability to insert a section header, and then you can give the section header a name. So for instance, if you were creating multiple phases of a project and you wanted to call one section phase 1, another one phase 2, we could do that. If you wanted to do maybe by category, say these are all the products we're selling and these are going to be the services that we're providing, we can do that as well. For our example, we'll go ahead and go with products, hit OK, and that'll add our section. Right click again, insert section header, services, and we're going to add one more for optional items. And then hit OK. And using these section headers is completely optional. If this is not the way you organize your document, you can actually skip this step. The really nice thing about the section headers is it's going to provide a visual aid for the customer and also the sales rep as we build the document and then finally deliver to the customer. So let's go ahead and start adding some items to the document. There's a couple different ways to add items to your document in QuoteWerks. If you've set them up in a product database, you can click on the products icon here, and this will open up the product lookup window. The product lookup window will display all of your databases of your items on the left-hand side. When you highlight a database, you'll see you'll have the ability to search for a specific item by the item's description, manufacturer part number, vendor part number, and keyword. Some of the databases may have different options than others, but the search will work the same way. Enter in some information. So for instance, if we type in the word Cisco, click find, that will narrow down our search results. Once you've located the item in your database, to add an item to your document, simply highlight the item and click on the Select Add button or double click on it, and this will bring up the Add Item Assistant window. The Add Item Assistant window will allow you to make changes to this particular item before adding it to the document. For instance, if we wanted to adjust our quantity, we can use our up and down arrows or simply type in here. We can also set our pricing for this particular item. If we wanted to mark it up 15% from cost, we could type in M15. That will adjust our price. If we wanted to set it as a specific margin that we needed to make, maybe a 10% margin, we can add P10. If you click on the ellipsis button here, you'll actually be able to select the markup, the margin, or you can discount it from the list price as well. We also have the option of just typing in the price, where if we wanted to sell this item for $1,200, we could type that in. Additionally, from here we can check the price history. So if we've ever sold this particular part number to this specific customer, we can check the price history when we click on this icon, and we can see the doc date that it was in, the cost, customer price, the quantity, document number, document name, all that information. So it makes it very easy to stay consistent with your pricing. We can also check the price history for this item. This would be anyone that we sold it to, not just this specific customer. And again, you'll be able to see the same information is available. And finally, when we're ready to add it to the document, we can tell QuoteWerks exactly where we want this item to appear. So we can click on our drop-down headings, select products, click add, and it'll add it under our products section in our document. You can repeat this step as necessary. If you want to add multiple items to your document, simply hold Control on your keyboard and you can select multiple items at once. Click Select Add, and that'll add those to the document. If you just want to add the items as is to your document, simply right-click, choose Add Item to the quote, and it'll automatically add those items to the document in one time for you. QuoteWerks product sources do allow for product folders. So if you wanted to organize your products into different folders, you'll be able to set those up and set the items in the proper folder as needed. If any of your items that are in a database have what we call required items, where when you sell item A, item B automatically needs to be applied, we can support that as well. We also support optional items where when you're selling item A, you may want to offer item B or item C. That can be set up on a per line item basis also. Using the required and optional items is a great way to make sure that reps don't forget to include any important information. For example, if I select this item here and it has an installation charge associated with it, when I select it and add it to my document, my installation charge will automatically be included on my document so that my reps don't have to remember to include things like installation charges and labor. For For those of you that are IT and AV professionals, you can take advantage of our product content subscription and real-time module to find product information in the cloud along with your distributor pricing availability. So I'll search for an item using our Utilize product, and in the search for window you can search by product name, description, part number, however you'd like to look for the item. So I'll type in a description, so in this case we'll do trip light switch and click enter on my keyboard, and this will return my results. I can then utilize the categories, manufacturers, and features and attributes options to narrow down my results. So for instance, if I click on PDU, that will narrow it down to 16 results. And if I locate one of my items, so we'll go ahead and we'll select this item here, that will load the item's product content such as the picture and customer friendly description. Then I can click on the Obtain Real-Time Pricing for Vendors button here, and that will actually bring in my pricing and availability for each vendor. When you select a vendor, it will show you on the right hand side the availability in the warehouse for that particular vendor. The lowest cost will also be highlighted in green with the availability next to it. So I'll go ahead and I'll select Tech Data. If I wanted to check pricing from CDW, Amazon, Dell, and Staples, I can click on the little globe icon below, and that will show you what they're selling this particular item for if it's available. It's still the least expensive to purchase from Tech Data, so I'll go ahead and I'll source it from Tech Data. You'll also see there's a couple other tabs available. There's an accessories tab, so if you wanted to include maybe some power cables, additional services with it, maybe there's a warranty that you'd like to add, we can include all that information here. And it works just the same way as it does on the Utilize Sourcing tab, where you can select it and then we can add it to the document. And we'll add it under our services section since it is a service. Go back here, double click on our option, say we'll need 3 of those, add it to products, click add, and it'll add it to our product section. The last tab is the spec sheet tab. This will allow you to include more technical information about this particular item. So if you want to add this item to the document, you can click on the Add to Links tab, and this will save it as a PDF on your Links tab in your Quote workbook. Now that we've selected all our items, we can go ahead and close out of this product lookup window. This will bring us back to the Quote workbook and specifically our Document Items tab. This will allow me to move my items around and reorder things. So we have an extra line item, so let's go ahead and delete that from here. And then if we want to drag and drop some of these items, by holding Control on my keyboard and clicking, I can actually drag these items under the particular section. So if I wanted to move those there, and we'll move our installation charge under our services, and we'll move this one to our products, and maybe we'll select these 2 as optional items. We can easily maneuver our items around the document. We also do support cut, copy, and paste, so if you highlight an item and right click or use the typical Windows shortcuts for Control X and Control C to cut, copy, you can do that as well. Now that we have our items on the document, we can make any types of adjustments that we'd like. If you'd want to adjust an item's description, you can start typing in the description field, or if you double click in the description, you can easily change it. So if we wanted to shorten this item's description, we can clear that and then click OK. If we wanted to make changes to multiple items at one time, we can do that as well. It's one of the powerful features of QuoteWerks, where if I select multiple items by holding Control and right click, I can make changes to multiple items at one time. If we scroll down, and you'll see there's an option to apply a price modifier. So for example, if I wanted to change the margin on these 3 items, I can choose Apply Price Modifier, select Margin Points, and then set the margin. Maybe I want a 18% margin on those 3 items. Click OK, and that same price modifier will be applied across all 3 items. We also have the ability to change the quantity as well as the cost modifier on multiple items at once. Additionally, in QuoteWerks, we have what we call line attributes. Line attributes are available by highlighting a single or multiple line items and right-clicking and selecting Edit Line Attributes. And line attributes define what type of product or service this is in QuoteWerks. So for our example, this is going to be an optional item. So we will set it as optional and is selected. Is selected just means we want it included in our subtotal, in our total of our document. From here you have other options such as setting the tax code, choosing whether or not you want to hide the price, if you want to hide the quantity, If you want to exclude the line from the document, if you don't want to print the line, this is a fantastic feature to utilize if you are selling items in a group and you don't want to show the individual products. We can do that. If your items have pictures and you don't want them to be displayed, and then if you have any recurring charges on your document, you can set that as well. So go ahead and click OK and set those items as optional. So if we wanted to highlight one of our services here and right click and choose edit line attributes, we'd be able to set it as recurring. So if we select recurring, say yes, we can select the billing cycle, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annual. When the cycle basis starts, so is it the start of the cycle, such as the beginning of the week, beginning of the month, beginning of the quarter, beginning of the year, or is it a specific date? And then if you want to include that first payment in the document total, and then this is where you can select the contract dates. Are they used from the sale info tab, or do you want to specify them here? If you specify them, you can simply select from the calendar and say, okay, it's going to start in 2 days and it'll be good for a year, and that'll be the monthly charge. If you don't want to set the specific dates, simply click to the Sale Info tab and you can set the dates here on the contract dates. While you're on the Sale Info tab, if you need to adjust the document date or the expiration date or assign this document to another user in your organization, you can do that. So if we click back over to our Document Items tab, we can make further adjustments if needed. If we wanted to run a subtotal after specific line items, we could do that. So if you wanted to subtotal out specific sections of your document by right-clicking on the item where you want to run your subtotal and selecting Add Subtotal, QuoteWerks will automatically add a subtotal section here, and you can even add a description. So if we wanted to call this our gold package subtotal, we can add that text. Perhaps you wanted to provide the customer with a 10% discount on a specific line item. Simply highlight the line item, right click, add % discount, enter the discount % amount, and that discount amount will be reflected on your document. QuoteWerks also has the ability to organize or group your items on the fly. So if we wanted to sell these items here as a package, I can highlight 2 or more items, right click, and then select Convert to Group, and this will allow me to sell these items as a bundle or a group instead. So if I wanted to call this our gold package, we could do that and it'll automatically subtotal it there for you. You can also remove items from a group simply by deleting the group header line. So if I click delete on my keyboard and remove that, that'll actually put our items back to the way they were. As you're modifying your items and making changes to the document, you'll notice your subtotal, your tax, your shipping if it's been set, and your grand total will adjust based on any of the modifications that you make. The recurring totals will also be displayed here for you to easily see what is going to be charged for the customer. We also support a deposit amount, so if you wanted to tell the customer that they need to pay maybe 20% down, we'll click OK, and QuoteWerks will automatically calculate that deposit amount for you as well. Now that we've finished making the modifications for our document, we can save it. On the save, a few things are going to happen. So when you click on the save icon, you'll be prompted to set the document name. This is the default naming convention we use, the company that we're selling to in today's date, but if you want to change it, you can. So if we wanted to call this our installation and setup, we can simply type in there. The document number will be assigned automatically, as well as the document status. If you'd like to edit the document status, simply click on the ellipsis button next to it. We can also manually assign project numbers if you'd like. Project numbers are a great secondary document number to utilize if you're creating multiple quotes for the same project, especially if it has different phases. And then below, if you are integrated with one of the supported CRM or PSA systems, you'll have checkboxes to utilize those integration features. So for instance, if I'm using, in my example, Outlook, I can choose to create or update a link document and create or update a follow-up call in Outlook. And then to make your changes, simply click OK. Once your document has been saved, you'll see the document name has been applied up top, as well as the document number is now available for you. So we're now ready to deliver our document to our customer, so we'll click on our Deliver icon. The Deliver icon will open up the Print, Share, Publish, Deliver document window. From here, you can choose to select a cover page, your layout, your literature, spec sheets, and links files. Cover Page tab will allow you to apply a cover page to your particular document. You can select from the drop-down list, and once you've selected it, it'll be added to your selections panel on the right-hand side. The layout is going to be the body of the document. This is what the document is going to look like when we send it to the client, so it's going to be very important that we select the layout that we'd like to use. The additional tab is a sub-tab of the layout tab, will allow you to attach additional QuoteWerks layout types. You can even include Word documents or Word templates that have been customized with QuoteWerks macros to fill in information. So if you want to include additional information or have the information in the document broken down differently, we're able to do that. The Literature tab typically contains documentation for your organization that all the reps would use, such as warranty information, service contracts, support agreements, documentation of that nature. For our example, I'm going to go ahead and attach a support agreement. Spec sheets will typically be documents that are specific to items that you have in your document items tab here. This can include more technical information about the items that you're selling to your customer. And then the links tab would be additional documentation that you want to include with your quote or proposal. Anything that's been attached on the links tab will have a checkbox next to it so that you can choose to include it in the quote or proposal that we send to the customer. On the right hand side, as you've made your selections, you'll see a list of those items here. You can reorder these items by highlighting them and using the up and down arrows to move them in any order that you see fit. We also have the ability to remove selections, so if you wanted to remove something, simply highlight it and click on the Remove Print Selection option. Once you have made all your selections, simply click on the Preview button to view what this document will look like as a PDF before we send it out to the customer. So the preview will display our document and what it would look like as a PDF. We'll see here our document name, our document number, and who it was prepared for in our cover page. We then have our information, kind of introductory information about this specific document. Next page is going to get into the line item information, and these are all fully customizable, where we have our prepared for, who's prepared by, our product information, our subtotals, and then getting into the actual line item information, and then our totals for the document. We even have an extra page here where we can include the initial investment, what's going to be services and labor, and if anything's going to be billed out monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And then finally, we have our support agreement that we've included as part of the document, where then the customer can sign off on the entire document, so be able to see everything. If we close out of this window, we're able to then email this document to the customer, so we can click on Email, and this will open up our email window and have our PDF document attached. So even though we have all those attachments, we can still send it out as a single PDF to the customer. So sending the document as a PDF is the first way to deliver the document to the customer. The other way is to utilize QuoteValet. QuoteValet will allow you to send the document to the customer as a web page. This customized web page will allow us to track the customer interactions with the document. Once the document's been uploaded to QuoteValet, you have the option to preview it before you send it to the customer, and then click on the Send Email button to open up the Send Email window. The main difference here is that instead of sending the customer a PDF version of the document, we're actually going to send them this link. So when you click Send and they click on that link, you'll actually receive notifications when they view the document, if they post comments, make any changes, anything like that. So if we close out of here, and let's go ahead and view this document. So now that the customer has clicked on the document, we received an email notifying us that they've done so. This will be the default QuoteValet page that will appear. The customer has access to the PDF document, and if they click on the thumbnail, this will actually download and display the PDF version of the document. If we go back to the document and we scroll down, you'll see this is where you have a lot of functionality with QuoteValet, where the customer can come in and actually select or deselect optional items. Click Update, and it'll actually update the quote in real time. Additionally, your various payment options will be available, and they can see what payments they need to make to get started. They can electronically sign off on the document, or if they have any questions, they can post comments here. So if they have a comment, maybe they would like to change the quantity to 3 for item 4, they can submit that comment here, and that will actually post the comment here on the document, and then we'll send an email notifying the sales rep. Now if we go back into QuoteWerks, we'll see this QuoteValet tab is now available. The QuoteValet tab will display all the customer interactions that we've had so far, so we'll actually be able to see when they viewed it for the first time, if they viewed the PDF attachment, if they changed an option, and if they posted any comments, accepted it, or made payment. Once they make payment, you'll actually receive an email notification as well as the QuoteValet activity notification. Once you've closed the sale, you can convert your quote to an order in QuoteWerks to update the document as one, which will also update your opportunity in your CRM or PSA system if QuoteWerks created it as one as well. You can do this by clicking on File, Convert to Order, or if you're using QuoteValet, it will prompt you automatically to do this, and simply hit OK to convert this quote to an order. Once a document has been converted to an order, you can click on your QuickBooks or Sage 50 link up at the top, and this will let you export this document over to your selected accounting system. If any of the items that are on the document do not exist, they will be created in your selected accounting system as well. Our purchasing window enables you to place online orders with your distributors and track procurement from warehouse to delivery. You'll be able to filter by vendor for items on a specific document, or you can batch items in multiple orders by vendor as well. When you select a specific vendor, if the vendor is part of our online ordering system, when you select items from those vendors, you'll be able to place the online order and then create the purchase order. If the vendor is not supported in our online ordering system, you will still be able to create the purchase order in QuoteWerks, which you can then track with serial numbers, tracking information, and more. As you have seen, QuoteWerks is a powerful yet flexible and easy to use software that will increase your productivity so you can spend more time selling and less time creating quotes. You can explore all that you've seen in this video by downloading a free trial at QuoteWerks.com. If you're ready to streamline your sales process and grow your business, call us at 407-248-1481 or send an email to sales@QuoteWerks.com to get started. Thanks for watching.